you'll notice here my filters. So this is a quick way for me to filter out and decide maybe I only want to look at certain data or certain dates. This filter allows me to do that as well as putting in some charts. So maybe if we put a chart in, again, pie, bar, line, but it would add it very quickly. There's not much that you have to do besides decide what kind it is that you want in there. Okay? So, again, very easy to manipulate these reports. Here I'll go ahead and save. Let me apply that because we took off the popularity. And then we'll save it. And that's going to be as easy as it is to create some metrics based upon, there we were looking at the knowledge articles, but really it would be any of the record types inside of Service Core you can create your reports against. Okay, so with that, Dick, I know we're running up on the time. Are there additional questions for knowledge management?
There are, and there's some other questions, but let me just ask you to begin with, and let me start out by just using an example. Okay. I have a solicitor that calls me every single day, and I told him, please don't call me, I'm not interested, but it must be set up on an automatic dialer because I still get that call every day, so I thought, well, there must be a way just to block the call. Now, if I try to Google this, it's not going to really be too helpful because I don't know what kind of phone system. I mean, the phone says Polycom on it, but I'm sure that's not going to some software underneath that drives all that. So I need to call the help desk. So wouldn't it be good to have some sort of knowledge article that I could go into that's relevant to this particular phone? As a user, could you walk me through that? Would that be like the Plantronics example that you've used? And I would go there and there would be a knowledge article and I could look in there and find out how to block a call?
Exactly, right. So when I come to this user portal, they would hit this knowledge-based browser and then put in block call, maybe Polycom as well, but then any article that the help desk had created around that would be exposed for them to see and kind of walk through those steps on blocking calls going forward. Okay. Yep. Now, in this particular case, looks like there are 4 knowledge articles. Wouldn't you normally have hundreds? You'd have hundreds of articles, wouldn't you? So you would have to search. Is that right? Or and so the way that you get around that, so if I hit this solution category and kind of start perusing that way, then yes, it's everything that would be under this IP phone category. But a way for me to tune that down is to put in some of the keywords here. And then this kind of shows you how you can tune it down or make your results be smaller. So I would put in some search criteria there and then hit search, and so then that would make it much smaller. Okay. All right. Well, let's turn to some of the questions now that have come in. Okay. The first one up here is, who would you propose to manage the unhelpful knowledge base articles? Software admin/tech or someone from the business? It may be multiple because I guess you would have to really look at it and see, well, why aren't they finding it helpful? And then at that point, maybe, head to the business and see why isn't this valid and then make whatever modifications. But it could be two trains of thought there. Right. I think it probably depends on the particular article itself. If it's more business related, it probably ought to be somebody from the business. If it's more technical, IT related, then probably somebody on the help desk side. Okay. Right. And you could with your workflows, you could kind of look at what the category is and decide how that needs to route. If that's going to go to the business, if that's going to stay with the technician. Okay. Next question here is, how do you set up a knowledge base category? So my categories are set up really from the administrative, let me switch over to this console. Let's go back here. So I'm setting up my categories from the administrative view. And so I think in that one I had for my knowledge base, you'll have, let's back up to here. In my knowledge base. So kind of like we saw before with the incident form. So here I'm at the base one, and then you have, again, your category tree set up at this level. So from administration, I go into my knowledge base, and my category trees reside here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Next question, is there any way to make the search not require the asterisk wildcard and assume it? The reason I ask is not required. It makes the search more like Google, thus more user-friendly.
Yes, so and we'll take that as an enhancement request because that was on their design, the footprints design of that. So in that example, if I didn't put Plantronics and I misspelled it as such, then it wasn't going to find it. Or if I even just put plant and do the search, then you have nothing. So that would be an enhancement request that we can send up to BMC on that side of it. I don't disagree with that. I think yes, but again, this is kind of how they designed it, so we'd have to do an enhancement request.